So now that we've talked about, this past summer, and we kind of touched on last year's Paulathon and how this is going to be the third year. So how did you get busted initially?
Well, yeah, that's something. I actually was growing at my house, and it wasn't a house I was stuffing for profit. I actually lived there with my wife and 4 kids. And I just got into breeding, and what happened is in the old days there, you couldn't buy seeds, like it is now. So I had to, work with what I had, and I was kind of lucky that I had Colombian gold, and then I actually got a pound of Hawaiian. So I had a pretty good start. But you always want to improve on what you have. So I started growing seeds, and I started backing up the female plants with clones. And before you knew it, I had 155 plants. And that's when they came in. And I didn't want to write anything down or keep track of everything. But I did. I was writing things down and keeping track of, how I was breeding, and they got everything. They got absolutely everything. They left the house. After I went to jail immediately, they left my wife with $100.
Oh, that was really nice of them.
I think they found about 4,000 in my suit coat. But, I was a cocaine salesman at the same time. And a lot of guys in those days that grew sold cocaine, because, you couldn't make a whole lot of money, doing indoor pot, because everyone thought it was shit. And it was the opposite. When I grew, I got big money for my, a lot of people don't believe it, but I got 500 an ounce.
So right now, medically in Illinois, we can only have 5 plants over 5 inches. So back when that happened, how much trouble was each plant?
I'm not sure. I think it was about the same. I think it was a misdemeanor if you had like 10 plants or something like that. But I was way over the limit, and the reason I was over the limit is because I was a breeder. I just didn't want to grow, and obviously I cloned and I found something that was pretty good. But I wanted to improve on it. In fact, I passed my genetics along for free to anyone that wanted them. But there wasn't a whole lot of sharing back then, because everybody was a rat. Everybody, they turned each other in, especially if they got caught. So that was a danger in those days.
So was it your plants that got you in trouble, or was it the cocaine that got you in trouble?
Well, they came in with a marijuana warrant. They came in, and the warrant said marijuana plants and books. So any books that I had too, you weren't even, you were probably allowed to have books, but,
marijuana was part of the banned books?
Maybe, I don't know, but in my first Paulathon, in the beginning, that's what I did. I was tearing the cover off of a marijuana book that I had disguised. Because I didn't want them to come in my house again and see I had a breeder's book. So, the beginning of the first Paulathon, that's what I'm doing. I'm tearing it out, I'm free. Illinois is legal. We're, we've been legal for a year. And there's a lot of guys that are still in hiding. And, you know, even to this day, I can't, admit everything, but,
It's probably a good
that's-
thing.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what it was. In fact, you know, with the Freedom of Information Act, I remember when they all came in, they came in with, a video camera. They videotaped the bus. They came in with fucking video. You know, they grabbed me, they brought me, you know, over to one of the bedrooms, you know, one of my kids' bedrooms, and then they went with the other way, and they went downstairs, and, you know, I was the only one that had the key to the, you know, the downstairs, and, you know, I could hear them, you know, smashing the door open, but they videotaped everything. So I guess in DuPage County, somewhere, I could probably get a Freedom of Information Act, and get the video if they still have it. But that was a danger in those days. And like I said, I've been growing and breeding since 1974 or 75, right in there, like I said, right when I got out of high school.
So what year did you go to Woodstock and get to see people smoking and enjoying cannabis for the first time and not being in trouble?
Well, I never went to Woodstock. I saw it on TV.
Oh, cool.
And, you know, and there were people getting high. They were getting high right in front of the cameras. And, you know, they made a note on all the news stations that nobody got arrested for smoking marijuana. And that was the first time. But even after that, if you had marijuana in your car, you know, it was a big deal. You know, and it continued, you know, for the next 20 years at least. If you got caught, you know, with marijuana, you know, you're in big trouble.
What year did you go to prison?
I went to prison in 1993. So, and no, you know,
And
it wasn't that bad. It was a little scary in the beginning because I didn't know what was going to happen to me. But in fact, I went down there and, you know, the first thing they say, you know, child molester, this and that. And I said, nah, you know, I'm in for growing marijuana indoors. And, you know, indoors, you grow indoors? Yeah, I'm growing indoors. So they were kind of interested in that. But, you know, I was locked up with a bunch of young guys. I went down at 38 years old. And, you know, the average age there was about 22.
oh, wow. So what
Yeah.
jail did you go to?
Which one? Well, first you go to DuPage, then Joliet, then you're processed out of Joliet. Then I went to Lincoln, and then from Lincoln I went to Taylorville, and then right from Taylorville I went to a work crew in Pittsfield, where I was actually allowed to go outside, you know, with, you know, the guards all watching us. And, you know, we were cleaning crew. We cleaned churches and, you know, this and that. And then when you come back, you're going back through Statesville. So I came back through Statesville, and when I was in Statesville, we used to go at night and clean Joliet.
Okay.
And in those days, I mean, it's a tier. There's like probably 5 or 6 stories, and it's round. And everybody had stereo speakers. They had these big fucking stereo speakers, like 4 feet high, blasting their music, and everyone had gold chains on, and that shit doesn't go on anymore. In fact, you can't even smoke anymore in prison, which would have been nice, because that was the worst part.
You didn't smoke when you went to prison?
Well, I smoked off and on, but oh boy, you want to hear that story, how I started smoking again?